Hey, it's Thursday. Welcome back to the Crypto Report, everybody. I am Crypto Kip. Hello to the chat. We got the beats. We got that Thursday vibe. We got that Friday energy. Tomorrow, actually, I'm working, but I'm kind of not. I actually have a scheduled golf round with a potential client. Just golfing to try to earn some insurance business. We'll see how that goes. But I'm looking forward to that. He's a very nice guy. And anyway, let's talk crypto. Today, you've got Bitcoin coming down a little bit. I'm not surprised. Are you? Let me know in the comments down below. This is something that, guys, we talk about all these volatilities in these markets. We trade these volatilities. We talk about trading a lot. We love to do it here. There's so many opportunities to do it. And as we've got some more breaking crypto news today, this Crypto.com CEO is predicting a rally in Q4 because of Fed rate cuts, which are destiny at this point. The odds have skyrocketed. The odds are up to like 97%. We know there's a Fed rate cut coming in just a few short weeks. We don't really even need to look at the odds anymore. We know it's coming. And in the meantime, we've still got the price of Bitcoin dipping. Why, oh, why is September? Why does September have to be bearish? Well, I guess it doesn't have to be, but historically, it just has been. Shout out to the chat. Hey, Wade. Hey, Pepe. Hey, Scott in the chat. Ricky Romero in the chat today. Good to see everybody. Kiernan in the chat. Crow to $1. XRP to $10. And some other predictions. Solana to 1K. Wouldn't that be cool? Smash a like. Subscribe to the channel. Hello to the chat. I love doing these live streams, guys. I love chatting with this wonderful chat as well. Let's get into it, focals, shall we? Today, I've got some Dunkin' Donuts coffee, iced coffee. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm rocking that iced coffee today. It's good. It's very good. Pepe's calling for an XRP to dip to $2. I think it could. And I think we actually have a potential, lots of dips maybe if Bitcoin continues in the trajectory that's on. Fear is creeping back into the markets. Bitcoin down to 109, down 2% today. Ethereum down even more so, down to 4,300. Everything's pretty much down. Look at all this red, guys. We've got some coins up, but not a lot. Not a lot is up today. Random ones. Pump Fun getting a little bit of a boost. This meme coin finding another green day. Hard to pick those outliers, I do a video that's coming out like specifically on Crow later today where I talk about how Crow's been affected by all this volatility. But today there's just a lot of big losers. World Liberty Financial, one of the biggest losers on the day. Things just been getting crushed since it came out. Though we have had some movers over the last 7 days, we've got a lot that is actually red. General struggle bus vibes for crypto overall right now. Why, oh, why? Well, September is kind of crummy. And the good news is we're coming into Q4. And Q4 historically has plus 85% gains. Now, that is much more than Q3, which is 5% gains on average. That is much more than Q2, which has 27% gains on average. And it's a little bit more than Q1, which is actually historically quite a bullish month. Who knows? Maybe we go into a Q4 rally. It extends into Q1, and then Q2, Q3 are our dead months, and that's the bear market. Maybe we go into a super cycle. But for now, the CEO of Crypto.com has been just hitting the airwaves. See? Hitting the airwaves. Yeah. Crypto.com CEO bets on Fed rate cut to fuel crypto markets in Q4. It's almost like he's been watching the crypto report. This guy knows a ton about the crypto industry. His business is dependent on the crypto industry doing well, as is every other executive and CEO. So, we had a great discussion the other day, and I love Oscar Ramos. Shout out to Oscar Ramos. And we had a really great discussion the other day And I think we have a difference of opinion in terms of how this market plays out. And everybody has the right to their own opinion. And I love that about life and crypto. And I think one of the key differences that we have in an opinion for the broader market right now is he's a little bit more bullish, more in this bull run extending further. And I'm a little more on the side that we're going to kind of do the classic bull market, bear market. And I think there's a lot of people that are kind of having this debate right now. And it's a good debate to have. And who knows who's right, who's wrong? Nobody can predict the future, right? But one thing that I want to remind you guys of, and I think it's important to remember this as we get excited about some of the things going on, is when we see executives whose businesses are based on, based on the success of the crypto market, like crypto.com, like Bitwise, like so many of these other crypto companies, like MicroStrategy, right? Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy. These businesses are based on cryptocurrency pumping, right? And so what they don't want is crypto to not pump. So are they going to come out and put out, and like Tom Lee with Fundstrat, big crypto bull? Why? Because he's got a lot of crypto exposure. So do you think they're going to come out and be bearish on crypto? Or do you think they're going to try to keep the market excited and moving up and incentivize more people to invest in this space and pump it up so that the bull market lives on and we keep it? Of course they want these things to keep going on. So when you see anybody come out with these predictions of that we're going to go into some super cycle, and especially specifically actually when it's CEOs, crypto executives who got stake in the game, you just got to take it with a grain of salt and think, well, what does the data historically suggest? And is that relevant? And it very well could be, and it might not be, because there is new data, and the new data suggests that there is more institutional buying. But there's also data to support that those same institutions do take profit and sell, which means that maybe this super cycle is once again a fantasy. Now, specific to this prediction from the Crypto.com CEO on Fed rate cuts could fuel a market Q4 rally, I agree. For the record, I agree. Q4 is historically the best time for cryptocurrency. You gotta like it. It's a lot of fun. We are coming up into it. September is the end of Q3. Q4 begins October. They call it October because we've only ever had 2 red Octobers at all, which is pretty darn good. You gotta like to see it. I think I'm excited to see it. So October, November could be pretty spectacular. Maybe December. I like the Q4 rally idea because the Fed rate cuts are significant. They are coming. We are seeing it. And we are seeing a lot of other bullish news that could lead to an extended cycle as a lot of people are hoping for. I would hope for it too. But I just am kind of in the position of like, I'll believe it when I see it. US SEC unveils an agenda to revamp crypto policies, ease Wall Street rules. Now that the big money's in the picture, they want to make it easier for big money to get in. So the SEC proposes new rules for digital asset sales. Let's see how that has to relate with like taxes and sales and different things like this. Potential amendments for crypto trading on national exchanges, right? We have seen some stories of Binance potentially being something that US users can use now. Maybe things like OKX being something that US users are going to be able to use because the SEC is going to kind of unwind some of these boxed out policies to prevent people from using these other exchanges. Now, that's going to pose more of a competition for companies like Crypto.com that basically had a monopoly on the US market. It will bring more competition, but competition is good at the end of the day. I believe competition is good because then you need to compete, lower fees, better platforms because you got more competitors. And I think that's all good and healthy for markets. And so I think this is a reasonable thing. And they also are aiming to reduce the compliance burdens for public companies to enter this space with big investment. These are all things that could potentially lead to some kind of mega super cycle, altcoin season, extended bull market, 26, 27, 28. Oh, it's all President Trump pumping through his whole candidacy. Some people say this. I don't fall into that boat. I would love to see it. I would really love to see it, but it's, again, something I'll believe when I see. In the meantime, what I do believe is that there's tons of volatility, and I like to take advantage of the moves up and down in these markets, sideways. You can trade these things. I do personally. I love it. You can sign up for BitGenex. You can sign up for Blofin. We've got sign-up bonuses, a $5,000 deposit bonus up to $5,000 when you sign up for Blofin, and up to a $100,000 deposit bonus when you sign up for BitGenex. These are affiliates in the description of this video for you guys to sign up if you haven't already done so. If you want to, try to catch along or catch a short on Bitcoin or ETH or whatever it is. And, again, trading's not for everybody, guys, but if you're just getting started and you want to dabble with it, you could do demo trading, which is trading with fake money on these platforms. Blofin has a great demo trading platform where you could just trade with fake money to try to learn how to trade. You could also do copy trading and just basically copy existing traders on the platform that are showing you some of their moves. There's a lot of different ways that you could actually potentially do it. But I do agree, though, this is something that we can be excited for. Q4 is historically fantastico, and you got to like it. Now, we did have some other news come out. The president's backed Bitcoin company. It just seems like every single day there's another story about the president and crypto and a company. And it's very interesting because you do have some people complaining about World Liberty Financial and the 5 billion or 4 billion or whatever billions of dollars that the president and his family have made from the World Liberty Financial Company. It's on paper. It's something they can't sell yet, but it's on paper. They can use it to, stack their net worth at least. And now we've got the Trump-backed Bitcoin company rising. On the first day of trading on NASDAQ, it did do very well. It did very well indeed when it started. And then it absolutely started to crumble, as a lot of these IPOs tend to do. As a lot of these stocks, when they first launch, they tend to boom and then they bust. Now, Circle didn't do that necessarily. Actually, we haven't looked at Circle in a while. How is Circle doing? Down to 115. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, so this thing got all the way up to what? Got pretty high. It got pretty high up there. All the way up to the high 200s. I don't like this. I want the candles. Why don't I have candles here? Hold on. Mountain candles. Let's get candles. Let's go down to the daily time frame as well. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look at this thing. So this is what the IPOs do. When they come out, they're hot. And then there's a profit taking mode. And then this thing has dipped way down. Now, Circle is going to be sticking around for a while. Honestly, Circle looks kind of like a buy at $100, I would say. But I don't know. I don't know. It could dip a lot lower. I just want to remind you guys what happened with like Coinbase. When Coinbase came out, it did something very, very similar. Now, Coinbase is kind of stealing the show from Circle, actually doing quite a bit better. There's Coinbase when it first came out, and it absolutely crumbled. It went all the way from $430 all the way down to $200, rebounded back up a little bit, and that was like the peak of the bull market in November, and then it absolutely crumbled all the way down to $37. $37. Be aware, guys, that this could be something that could be coming for Circle, where it could stumble, crumble, and then have a big boost back up. If you had bought the bottom of Coinbase stock and it went up from $30 all the way up to $400, you could have made over a 10x on Coinbase stock, which is insanity. That is the stock market for you guys. You can get crypto stocks as well. It doesn't have to just be altcoins, meme coins. It can be crypto stocks, guys. And so it's just something to keep in mind. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see, Coinbase stock dip here with the rest of the crypto market. But if we do get a Q4 boom, I wouldn't be surprised to see Coinbase stock break through this previous high truly and go to maybe much higher price levels. We're going to have to kind of see what's going on this. But, anyway, this launched, when these companies launch, they pump and then they crumble. And then eventually they find a kind of bottom. And then if they're good companies, they can come back. And we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do think that there's very positive times ahead for crypto. And I think that crypto firms are going to be very successful. I think that the president's crypto firms are probably something to keep an eye on. because the guy's setting policies. Guy's setting policies for the crypto industry, which is unbelievable. But it's been a while since we looked at some of those charts, so I thought you'd get a kick out of some of those. You do have a Fed pick coming out who is now in the Senate going through a classic Senate grilling, a bunch of politics getting smash back and forth, schmah over here, schmah over there, schmah over here. You know, I always hate the president's picks, and the people that support the president like the president. It's just politics, whatever. We got a new Fed pick coming. The guy favors rate cuts because he's the Fed pick from the president. We know rate cuts are coming. Generally, I think this is going to be looked at as a bullish thing. Now, U.S. private payrolls missed expectations. Stocks waivers, U.S. labor market shows more cracks. Not necessarily the best news on the macro side of the economy. But Fed rate cuts are coming, so that's pretty cool. At least we can expect maybe a Q4 pump. Here was an interesting thing about the United States. This kind of has nothing to do with crypto, but I do think that it's interesting. United States has already collected $31 billion in tariff revenue in August. That's the highest monthly total this year. You can see that we're actually making a lot of money now and billions of dollars from tariffs. This is just a drop in the bucket compared to the trillions of dollars in debt that we have, but maybe, just maybe, the president's tariffs are working in some capacity. Here's a graph that looks good from the U.S. Treasury Department, but you would certainly see some people try to find a way to knock this because politics is super cool and stuff. BlackRock is buying Bitcoin, but they're selling Ethereum. This kind of supports my argument that Bitcoin dominance could rally to kind of end the year. Or not to end the year. We could get one more rally out of Bitcoin dominance before we get a true full-fledged altcoin season. And so, keep an eye on the charts here and be aware that, here's Bitcoin dipping. Ethereum's dipping harder. I had a target at $4,000 for a while. Wouldn't be surprised if we dip down to it. I've been saying it for weeks now. Here we are doing it. It's happening as we were kind of approaching this. For a month, I've literally been talking about $4,000 Ethereum. When we broke through it, I was saying we need kind of a bullish retest. We almost got it, but I've been talking about this for 4 or 5 weeks about a potential retest on 4,000, and we are coming down to it. I think that I'm going to be right, but again, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not here to give financial advice, and you got to be aware of that. But as Ethereum is falling harder than Bitcoin, Bitcoin dominance is starting to climb again, which is good to see. I guess, no, it's not good to see. I don't know. It depends. I think that it's an opportunity for people to buy altcoins before a big altcoin surge. I think that it's a healthy bounce. I thought maybe we could come lower. If we stopped here, would I be surprised? A little. I think that maybe there's one more dip, maybe before the rip, but, we're just going to have to keep an eye on it there. I mean, you could argue that's a reasonable bottom. These wicks on these little wicks kind of line up with these wicks over here. So maybe that is in fact the bottom. Actually, let's just assume that it is the bottom. Actually, let's put these wicks. Let's line them all up. Let's assume that's the bottom. I don't think that it is. I'm not going to assume that's the bottom. But I do believe that Bitcoin dominance should fall lower, and at some point then, ETH takes new highs, and then for the coins like Crow or XRP, we could find some higher levels as well. I don't know what happened. So I got a dip machine in my house, and I tried to do some dips for the first time in a while yesterday, and I pinched my neck, and now it is just killing me back here like crazy. I don't know what's going on. I got to figure it out. Not the best. Zula says circle under $100 is a banger for me. I think that looks like a good price too. Let's do a little chat section. What's going on in the chat? Got through some of this news, but yes. Anyway, I've been talking about potential for a Bitcoin resurgence. Here you got BlackRock basically doing the exact moves that line up with the idea that Bitcoin dominance is going to rally before we kind of get that everything altcoin pump into the end of the year. So just things to think about, things to keep an eye on. Everybody thinks that institutions are just going to diamond hand forever. I think that they will diamond hand some for a long time, but they will play these markets as well. It's not like an up only thing. Nothing's an up only thing ever, no matter what's going on. Shout out to Ricky Romero. Appreciate you. Ricky Romero. We could look at Morpho. I know that's that big project. Appreciate that super chat. Thank you. It's up a nice 1% today. Going to be really hard for me to give a price prediction on something that I don't know a ton about. But I do know that it's the borrowing and lending protocol on base chain. I do know that its market cap is 600 million. And I do know that the meme coin Dogecoin has gotten to an $88 billion market cap before. So could this get to, I don't know, 10 billion? Could it get to 20 billion? Maybe. Could it get to 88 billion? I don't know. It just depends how much adoption happens for the base chain. I don't really know how to predict which chain is going to become the biggest chain. It would make sense to me that base chain would become a big chain. And if base chain, it becomes one of the top chains. And I think it's going to be one of the top chains. Is it going to be the top chain? Like in the top 5, top 3? I don't know. Right now, it's in a nice position, but what's it going to be in 6 months? What's it going to be in 2 years? Very difficult to predict those kind of things. But you could feel decent, I think, about potential for the base chain. And therefore, Morpho is one of the biggest protocols on the base chain. I think that it's probably a decent play. I mean, I think 10x for something like this should hypothetically be easy. That being said, I'd have to learn more about the tokenomics. I'd have to learn more, about it. I do like that it's basically backed by Coinbase. Could it go to $20? Sure. Could it go to $40? Maybe. But I think it's going to be very difficult to see, I don't know, like anything crazy like 100 billion, 200 billion, anything like that. So, Pepe got to 11 billion. Could it get to that? Yeah. I mean, like that all seems reasonable to me, but hard to say. Can't really math out that math, right? The soul of Jefe says possibly scare people at the 150 level. Oh, at XRP. Yeah, it could happen. Soul of Jefe says Jay seems grifty to me. He seems grifty to me as well. I agree. Yeah, Ricky, hope you appreciated that. I don't know. I don't like the Jake guy. He seems grifty. I hate the super smooth talkers. I'm kind of a smooth talker, but like I'm also kind of like really normal, kind of maybe. I don't know. I'm a talker. I can talk a lot, but I think I'm clunky and real. I think because I'm weird. I don't know. And I'm also not afraid to be a bear. I'm a bull, but like I'm not afraid to be a bear. And I just think that anybody that's too bullish is, like Tom Lee aggravates me in these bull markets because he's just bullish, very serious bullish predictions. Nobody talks smoother than me. I'm the smoothest. Nobody's ever been a smoother guy, really. Frankly, we've really never been so smooth. And smooth's basically my middle name. Let me tell you, Marty says Jake Gagan is the biggest grifter of them all. Jake is interesting guy. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of Jake or Rodney, really. And I don't really like to bash people. I'm not bashing them. I've just never been a huge fan. Trust is a big thing. And like, I don't just give it. And, what's crazy is BitBoy earned my trust back in the day. But he lost it, So, hard to judge characters. Appreciate you, Juan. Thank you. Glad you like it. I'm glad you do, really. Massimo says Bitcoin is my number one and will always be in my mind. XRP will be number 2. Ooh, that's something I didn't know. What about H bar Massimo? Massimo. Oh, it's good. September is a sell month every year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. New fiscal year. There you go. Top 3 alts to rotate BTC gains into, bro. I don't know. Solana's cool. Crow might be cool. HBAR could be cool. I feel like, you know, oh, is about a DEBIT. Ayabadoo. That's my little girl. Oh, we got little golf pants on. Let's see. Hopefully she doesn't grab them. We got little golf pants. Little golf pants. Yeah, my girl. High five? No high fives right now. That was Mrs. Crypto Kip and Little Crypto Kip. Lil Crypto Kip. Just woke up from a nap. Thank you. That was my polite way of saying get out. She knows it. That was very polite. I was very polite. I wasn't being rude. I love seeing my little girl. What did you say? Did you say a little rude? No, it was a little rude, but not too rude. We're working on it. Massimo says only coin that is weirdly scary is Doge because of Elon. Like in a good way or a bad way? Is that what you're saying? Oh yeah, I was getting over to this. Like top 3 altcoins rotate BTC gains into. I don't know, man. I like XRP's had a really good pump. I don't think it's gonna have like a 10x or 20x face melter at this point. It's just too big of a market cap, and I know some people don't like when I say that, but that's what I think. Forget about it. Solana had a really nice pump to start the bull market, but I do think that it might be able to get to like, $1,000 or something like that. Get halfway to a trillion, maybe. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like that. So 5x is decent in terms of big coins to get into. Doge, it's at 31 billion. It's gotten to 88 before. Can it get back up to 88 billion? That's a 3x. Could it get back to its previous all-time high? Can it go higher? I think that it could. It's got a Doge ETF coming later this year. And I think that's one thing to consider is like Doge ETF, Solana ETF are coming. I know an XRP ETF is coming, but again, market cap. I think there might be a Cardano ETF coming. Cardano, I feel like has just been not doing the thing. And I think it's due for a pump. SWE might surprise you guys, possibly. Stellar tends to be a pretty good pumper at times. Kronos has been good historically. Avalanche, HBAR. There's a lot of really good coins right in here. SWE, Stellar, Avalanche, HBAR, Kronos. I don't even know anything about the Zuna said Leo. That's such a weird name. Litecoin's a meme coin now. That's what they're branded as. Toncoin's the Telegram associated coin. Maybe that one. Sheeb, I'm not that keen on Sheeb anymore. Polkadot, I hate the branding, and I think a lot of other dudes in crypto don't like it either. Uniswap's the biggest L1 on Ethereum. I think there's something to that. Monero, these privacy coins, I'm surprised that this is still actually here. I've never really been a huge Monero guy myself. Aave is one of the biggest lending and borrowing platforms on Ethereum and crypto. You got Pepe down here. I think Pepe's probably got a big run ahead of it still. $4 billion market. I bet you Pepe still gets a big pump. Who knows? Maybe the whales are going to play whale games and suppress it. But I think that Pepe, something about Pepe, I don't know. I'd like to see Pi perform well, but I don't have a ton of faith in it. I just love the story behind Pi. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the ISO 2022 compliant coins like Hedera and XLM, I like those. I like Kronos a lot more than I have ever before with all this news that's come out. And I've always loved Kronos, but I like it more now than ever before. How people talk about Algorand and VeChain a lot. Maybe. I'd love to see those pump. I think Algorand is an ISO compliant coin. I wouldn't be surprised if Jupiter had a nice pump. I can't pick 3. You know what I mean? But it depends. Are you chasing 2x, 5x gains, 10x gains, or are you chasing minimum 20x gains? Because if you're searching minimum 20x gains, you scroll down and you look low down here, but your odds of actually catching that move are less. The more gains you're chasing, the less odds you have of actually making it happen. So, you know, it's just the way that I look at this thing. Ricky Romero says, are you still buying Kronos at these prices or just holding your bag? At this point, I'm just a bag holder. And that's in a good context, not bad context. But, you know, if you felt like your bag wasn't big enough, then, you know, you would hypothetically accumulate, right? I mean, it just depends how much you want. It's not really about what I'm doing. It's about what you want. And, you know, if you feel like your bag's not big enough, then you put more. But eventually, you know, is there a point where your bag's big enough where, like, do you have enough Bitcoin where now you want to start looking at altcoins too? Or do you just want to keep stacking Bitcoin? Or same thing with Kronos, you know? So, like, these are some of the things that I think people need to think about. But think, you know. Kip, is there a spot ETF live in the USA for what? For what, Scott? For Kronos? Not yet. They have an ETP, I think, don't they? But they don't have like an official spot ETF yet. There's only Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs right now. So we'll have a, this is your name, Pepe. Oh, I pulled my neck. It's Wade says, I think Chris was mentioning recently that there's a lot of coins in the top 25. They're all going to get ETFs and treasuries. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. He's talking about the chains. They're going to have their own treasuries like Kronos and Base Chain and all these things. There's no base token, though. There's no base token, which is weird. Glad you're at the live, Massimo. Glad you're here, brother. Marty says, have you dabbled in any new alts or you prep for the end of the season? Yeah, I'm not really interested in like, oh, there's this new coin that popped up. Like, I couldn't give a hoot that meme core is pumping. I don't know what it is. I don't want it. I don't need it. Do you guys remember? Maybe you don't. In 2021, Chili's and Engine Coin were popping. And they had this great run, and those were the new shiny objects in the room, the metaverse plays. That lasted for a second, and then it went away. And they never really had any kind of meaningful pump in this bull market. And they might not ever. It's the shiny objects, they're just shiny, but it's a temporary shine usually. So who knows? Maybe this is around. I don't know, but Pump Fun, I know the utility of that platform. That one might be able to stick around. But then like Sky, what the heck is Sky? I don't know. Form, I don't know. I'm not even interested really in looking into it. There are millions of cryptocurrencies now, and with, you know, a relatively established crypto market, we've got some clear winners. And the winners, like with the amount of people that still aren't in crypto, people will be coming to the ones that, you know, other people talk about and other people like. Oh, it is not good. I've got this pulling sensation right there. It is no bueno right now. What is my opinion of Pengu? Trend. It's trend, and it will fizzle out, I think. Have I heard of Sonic Coin? It used to be Phantom and looks very undervalued. I have heard of it. Phantom was something that some people talked about. Sonic could be good. Again, not really in my list, but that doesn't mean that it isn't great or good. It doesn't mean that it's bad or whatever. It could be anything. It's again, there's so many coins to track. I am focused on a few key narratives, utility tokens. Sometimes I'm focused on the memes when it's time to focus on memes. Treasuries, ETF coins, ISO 20022 compliant coins, exchange coins. Yeah. No, there is not a XRP ETF that's live. That is not true, Pepe. There's certainly not a spot ETF live. Maybe there's some kind of ETP somehow, some way, but there's certainly not a spot ETF, which is really the only one you should care about. All right, guys, that's all I have in this one. Thanks for tuning in. I am Crypto Kip. This is the Crypto Report. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out the affiliates in the description down below if you want to take advantage of the volatility in these crypto markets and do some trading of your own. I got some beautiful sign-up bonuses in the description of all these videos for you guys. So go ahead and check those out. They're right there. You'll see them below all these videos right here. Nice bonuses for you. Until next time, I'm Crypto Kip. This is Crypto Report. I'll see you in the next one, y'all. Peace.